Me, Abby, and standing here 3 hours, sitting here doing nothing, trying to think of a video. It's almost 10:30, from 7:30 to 10:30. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We finally just talk about, what do you want to talk about? Because you're my host for the month. And this is your daughter, Abby. And Abby loves monkeys. I love monkeys. And what do you want to talk about? What are we talking about? Diet, right?
What were we saying about
the mental side of health, the philosophy of eating, and
mindset? Your
yeah,
Right.
your mindset. How there's more than just eating the right foods. You need to have a really positive attitude as well, and a healthy kind of peace inside of you when you're eating. One of the things I like is the macrobiotic diet. It talks about how like you should really cook your food and eat your food in a peaceful, happy mindset. You can't be cooking when you're angry, like because all that energy in you is going to affect how like you digest the food and what nutrients you absorb. So that's what we're talking about. The mental side of eating.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's why I like to be a little kid. My goal is just to be a little kid. I mean, I love women, but that's about all. I do.
Okay, so, and I say, to add to what Abby was saying,
Yeah,
that,
actually, mother and daughter.
and I say that you also need to bring that same love and caring to yourself, because I think we set really hard standards
We
for
do.
ourselves.
We do.
And
We do.
we set these really high goals, and then we give ourselves no grace and no mercy. And I think a lot of times we're more merciful to other people than we are to ourselves. And so I think you have these goals or these intentions that you want to do, and you move in your life toward them, and you do what you can do. And if you mess up or you didn't reach your goal, that's okay.
The way I look at food is meant to fuel me, not entertain me. That's how I look at life. Which means I see something, I say, how long does that stay in my system, and with my body wants to. For the most part, that's how I look at food. Like our food today, super fantastic, super fantastic. We have a raw food potluck today, and how much did I eat? You notice?
Yes,
None.
Zero.
Zero. Because I know if all this food combined together is not going to do my body. It's not going to do my body justice. My ideal way of eating, most ideal way of eating is one food at a time. I don't always do it. I like to eat one food at a time with no energy on digestion. One food, one love, one God. That's how I say. One husband, one love, one food.
And
One hand around one person.
And I think
Yeah.
that most people can't always do that. Like
Absolutely, no one can do it.
Yeah,
no one.
we know it, and we understand
Right.
that information, and we set out to do it. We have the best of intentions, and we don't do it. So my whole point is give yourself the grace and the mercy and the support for yourself, and say to yourself, look, you're doing the best you can.
Absolutely.
And you have a whole next opportunity the very next time.
Now you're someone below this month?
I'm always somewhat raw. I'm without even trying, I'm probably 80% raw.
Without even trying. What is the major factor for being that way?
I stopped setting these goals saying I have to be a
Right.
raw person or I
Right.
have to be this, and I
Right.
just kept, I told you before, it's self-care. I just decided to stop hurting myself and started taking care of myself, and I felt better eating those foods, and I noticed that I felt better. And so instead of trying to reach some goal, it was just, how do I care for myself? And a big part of caring for myself was not judging myself
right.
when I messed up.
Right.
And I
love
think
it.
also like with not judging, also staying conscious and staying present in your moment.
You are so smart.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, well, I had this book that I was
And
reading.
she's smart and beautiful.
Thank you. I had this book and it was
And she's available, guys.
Arnold.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
She's going to California and she's available.
Thanks. It was called Mindful Eating, and
Right.
like it had not one word about what you should be eating, like which diet is the best, and it was talking all about like just being mindful, and that's how you're going to be able to stay in a great diet. It's like, what does this look like? What does this taste like? The texture of the food, what does it smell like? Take in every part of the experience and really use all your senses. And if you're doing that and you're eating slowly and really tasting something, you're gonna know like if this doesn't feel good. Like that when I started eating really mindfully, I was like, oh, this is kind of burnt. I'm not going to eat
The thing is,
this.
the more raw you eat, the more you're mindful today may not be your mindful tomorrow.
Why?
Say, for example, take a macrobiotic, right? Macrobiotic is a lot of focus on rice. Rice has something called C6H10O6. Now, if you ate C6H10O6, plus has something called opoids, plus has something called phytase, plus substitute glue, your mind would suddenly change. This is not to your best interest.
Yeah.
Because it takes 60 to 80 hours for the body process. And under those circumstances, it's best not to eat, delectably rather than selfishly. It's best to eat what's in my body's best interest, based on love. 60 hours versus 30 minutes. Yeah, 60 hours worth of work or 30 minutes? 30 minutes. And you're able to change. That's how I do it.
For me, this is an important point.
Yes.
I had a wicked sugar addiction serious sugar addiction, like alcoholic sugar addiction. Well, it was that serious. I felt like I was an alcoholic with sugar.
By the way, you were. Page 26, fourth paragraph talks about it. Page 26, fifth paragraph talks about it. Alcohol and sugar. Yeah.
And I couldn't get off it. I'd go off it, and then people would say, well, everything in moderation, and you have a hard life, and just treat yourself, you deserve it. And so I'd think, okay, I'll have a little dessert tonight. And then the next day I would have more dessert and more, and by the end of the month I was eating all sugar again. So for me, I had to get to a place where I was, what Abby said, I was staying in the moments, I was watching how I felt, I didn't feel good. And I finally just had to draw the line in my life and say, this is not taking care of myself. And so for me, I'm not an everything in moderation person with sugar. So I had to just take out refined sugar, refined white flour products. And it just seemed like that just catapulted me to eating healthier all over. Because
your body wants to be in a state of excellence at all times.
Exactly.
Your body wants excellence at all times. It understands truth. It understands lie. When you're eating live food, the body reacts accordingly. It'll let you know in no uncertain terms, this is not good for you.
And you know what? I think is for me, I didn't want to hear that because
Oh, you don't want to hear it?
no, I did. I would say that I wanted to hear it, but I didn't. I was hanging on so tightly to these substances because somehow they made me feel comforted and better. And
Well, you have a lot on your plate, Bob.
I do have a lot on
You
my
have a lot.
plate.
She has 7 kids. That's a lot, and a single mom. You're beyond. And you had to give up a good profession to because of other things. You have a lot on your plate.
But what was so good is that maybe it highlighted my situation so I could really stand back and look at this and say, your whole life you're battling this addiction, you're hating yourself, you're feeling unworthy, you're never, sustaining good health. And it was easy for me just to, like Abby said, just really stay conscious. As I stayed conscious, I started looking at my life saying, this is not what I want. I don't want to spend my life battling a food addiction and being so depressed all the time.
And most of the other side of it, we had a speaker right there. Jay, he weighed 300 pounds.
I did. I stopped for both of the time.
And one day he says, I don't like my life. I don't want to see my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, look at her dad who weighed 300 pounds.
Well, I did. I was basically
April 1st, he weighed 300 pounds. 1 year later, he weighed 135, 165. Because he made his mind up that he did not like himself. He did not like himself. He did not hate himself. He made the point, how would I like myself? And he just became a fruitarian.
I think that the theme of this should be really, it's not so much what you're eating, it's liking yourself and caring for yourself. And I think actually all those things fall into it, right?
And I think that the food problems and what you're talking about, it's not about the food, it's about the emotions, and that's why like having a mindful attitude while eating is so important, and being conscious is so important, because like you were saying, you're not eating for the cake, it's not for your body, it's to fill some sort of emotional anxiety or stress. I noticed when I started paying attention to my eating habits and my thoughts, I only wanted to go to those foods when I had a moment of stress.
Right, I agree with that.
Yes.
Absolutely. I go for fat, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I went for sugar. Yeah.
Fat, sugar, we're a perfect combination.
It's what it's all about, it's conscious eating. Because otherwise, if you're not paying attention to your thoughts and being in the moment, you'll go quickly to these.
I just want to add something to that, okay? if I eat fruit, start off the day with a lot of calories from fruit, I don't grab the tooth nuts. For me, my addiction is nuts. But I've ate enough calories in the morning from fruit. My cravings are more than satisfied.
You know what? And here's the big point: is everybody's body's different.
Everybody's
So you're
different.
listening to your body.
I'm listening to my body.
Yeah, and I was listening to my body, like, hey, this doesn't work for me, and you're saying the same thing. And I think that's so
Awesome.
key. Yeah.
We did it.
We did a video.
Yay! We're here. Yay! It's live from Arnold's Way. Don't forget, August 3rd, we're having a big event. 300 to 500 people. Sign up now. Tickets are only $10 each. And Sandy may be there. I don't know, maybe.
High five.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Sandy's with me for the whole month. We gotta say bye.
Bye from Arnold's Way.
Yay.